What's up, everybody? Welcome to a very depressing edition of Third and Longhorn. I'm just going to call it like it is. We're still showing up though, because we want to. We definitely have some things to cover and some things to talk about. So to my right, I have Derrick Johnson. To my left, Aaron Williams, as well as Jeremy Hills. I'm Nick Shuley, and we are going to get into it on Texas. Number one, Texas's 30-15 loss to Georgia. So gotta say it, gotta get it out of the way. And starting off, man, let's give credit where credit's due. Georgia played a heck of a game. Their defense was impressive, man. I think they've been up and down this year, and they definitely brought it, and they were ready tonight. And let's get into it though. DJ, what are your quick thoughts on this one?
Well, again, very disappointing of the performance tonight. I'm sure Sark and the guys are very disappointed as well. Probably more disappointed because they expected to come out in front of their home crowd and handle business. So that's the biggest letdown for them. But you got to give hats off to Georgia for hearing the noise all during the week. Texas has been getting so much praise, well-deserved praise, but we started slow, and Georgia has been battle-tested, and they showed tonight that they're gritty. On paper, I think we're still better, but tonight, they were better. They were a better team than us tonight.
Yeah, agreed. Aaron,
I think the only way I'm sorry. I'm just thinking.
He's ready.
I'm just saying.
Hills is loaded up.
It's ready to go. You can't
get comfortable.
You don't take listen. That score is not reflective of the butt whooping that we got tonight.
Yeah.
You don't. I want those guys in the locker room to walk out and feel like we're better, but I want them to understand that until you prove it, you're not. That's just like we say. The tape is who you are.
The tape is who you are.
Yeah.
The tape is who you are. And the tape today said that Texas is inconsistent. Texas doesn't start well. And Texas doesn't – I mean, we play our butts off. We play our tails off, but we're sloppy with the football. And we listen, I think we can play defense with anybody.
Yeah.
But our offense has to prove that we can be as efficient as we are talented.
What are your thoughts, Aaron?
I mean – it's tough, man, because I think we all hear week in, week out say we started off slow. We started off with a little struggle. And we've always said that this week against Georgia was going to be their first battle test. And knowing that, getting praise through the whole week, Georgia getting not as much praise, getting the opposite.
I'm sure Curry put all that.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure. Coming at home, packed stadium, sold out. You gotta come with some fire. You gotta start the game with some fire. And the first few series, it was once again like, what are we missing? Like, we can't have any more excuses. If we're number one, we gotta start playing like the number one team.
Oh, we're not number one.
And not number one no more.
Yeah,
about to be
coming into
five.
this week, we came in number one, and we had the same performance we did the last couple of weeks. Hats off to the defense. They did their thing. I just feel like if we start off just the same fire we come off as we do in the second half, we don't really have this discussion.
Yeah.
So
I think a little bit of that though is our leader on offense.
Yeah.
Right? Because our defense, I want to say they got 2 interceptions in the first quarter.
Key interceptions.
Like key
Very
interceptions,
much.
right?
Yeah.
And
Jade and Makuba.
Our first drive on offense was pretty decent, but it stalled out. We ended up punting the football, right? It is what it is. But what you don't see is QB1 get sat down if it's not on QB1, right?
Yeah.
Like it's on you to get this offense going, and that just was not happening. And he can't. The performance that he had in the second half, if you give me that for 4 quarters and we lose the game, I'll take it.
I'll take it all day.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
But it's becoming growingly frustrating, and I know it has to be frustrating for them as a unit, but it's becoming growingly frustrating to say, like, hey, let's go.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Let's go.
And this is a good thing that we have these high expectations because we've seen them perform at a high level. Like we think a lot of these guys, and I'm sure they agree tonight wasn't it, right? I mean, especially on the offense side of the ball. Defensively, you know, you got to play complementary football, and tonight we didn't play complementary football, especially when you get turnovers, you got to respond on offense. Offense didn't get a spark. Try to put, you know, Archie in to get us a spark. That helped a little bit, but, you know, not really.
That's our thing. We haven't had a week where we said, man, offense came out hot.
Mm-hmm.
We are always saying offense needs that spark. Defense has always had that spark. Even when they start slow, they'll have a play or two where it's like, okay, here we go. Now the ball's going to start rolling. We haven't really seen that from our offensive side. I know those guys are feeling it, but we got to start being accountable. And when it's time to come and play against a really good team like Georgia, someone has to step up on that side. When someone is lackluster and we're not performing at a high level, we got to start sitting each other down on that bench and say, hey, I didn't really see on that bench someone say, yo, what are we doing?
Yeah.
But this ain't us.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man. You without even watching the game, if I'd have missed the whole game, I don't care what game I was watching or missing. If you tell me that the team had 29 rushing yards and was 3 for 15 on third down, I told you that team lost.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like that. Like if you can't run the ball and you can't stay on the field, you lose the game. That is just what happens.
So true. So
Yeah,
true.
and the funny thing is, if you guys remember back to year one of Sark, we were a team that would come out gangbusters in the first half, just dominate the first half, and then the second half, everybody come back. And now it's like we have these teams that don't seem to get out of the starting blocks, but then we make really good adjustments at halftime. I mean, we outscored them 15-0 in the third quarter. And we came out ready to play and did what we needed to do. But like you said, I mean, when we look down at these offensive statistics, 29 rushing yards today, which I think that's skewed a little bit by Quinn getting sacked. I believe he was had negative 34 from those sacks, but still, and we end up with 259 passing yards. But we looked up with, I think it was 5-6 minutes left in the first half, and we have 15 total yards. Or it was 28. And I remember at one point our best play was a 15-yard face mask that got Arch until Arch had a 21-yard run.
To me.
And so you just not we just did not come out firing.
And the crazy part is, like, keep it real. Like, Georgia offense didn't look amazing.
No,
Not at all.
What they did, what I feel like they did that we didn't do was just they capitalized on the mistakes.
Yeah.
We didn't. Our offense didn't capitalize on the turnovers that our defense gave us.
Well, and
Their
I think
offense did.
everyone had this game as the quarterback who won, who played better, going to propel themselves into the final race for the Heisman. And I think
I think
we both stepped back.
They held hands and took a step back together.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say neither one of those quarterbacks played at a high level today.
No, not at all.
I think today's game was about defense and
Absolutely.
who can stop at a pivotal moment in the game. But we had some times, but Georgia just unfortunately had more responses to our negative plays.
And you got to give them their card too. Like,
Got to.
Where I thought that we would ultimately take this game over was us in the trenches.
Yeah.
And our defensive line, I can say, they pressured him.
Yeah.
They pressured him, and he did a really good job. He knew where his outlet was and
Yeah.
he could get the ball out. But I mean, it wasn't nothing that would hurt us, and it's ultimately what would cause a punt or cause something else. Their defensive line was a lot more effective against our offensive line than I anticipated.
That line of scrimmage was moving.
And let's go ahead and salute Mr. Walker. Yeah,
He's flying around. Man.
I don't know.
Four
Did he
sacks?
finish with
3
3 or 4
3
sacks?
sacks.
3 sacks.
Yeah. Congrats on being a top 10
They had
pick.
7. They had 7. Yeah.
No, I got to
7.
give him his card, man, because like our offensive line is real deal.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you showed up and did that on the biggest stage on the road.
On the road.
On the road, on the biggest stage, you showed up and had a game like that.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I think that was one of the differentiators was we did not handle the pressure well, and unfortunately, I think that I don't know if we ever really recovered from that. It's like in the first half, we didn't get anything going.
Yeah.
You know
nothing.
how hard it is to start a second half being down 23 though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
That
hard.
takes
That's hard.
that takes a lot out of you.
Yeah.
And check this out though.
And then try to catch up.
You're down 23 to start the second half, and then you go into the fourth quarter down 8.
Yeah.
You know what I
They
mean?
scored 7 points
with
in the
all
second half.
With all the momentum, you go into it down 8, right?
Yeah.
So this game never works on coulda, woulda, shoulda-ups, and like we say, any given Saturday, right? Anybody can beat anybody. I'm just looking at this thing like, Oh man, if you give me that second half for 4 quarters and we lose, I walk away with this thing and I'm okay with it. But I still don't know what we have.
Yeah.
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 I'm sitting here
game.
after what 6-7 weeks, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I still don't know what we have.
But we do know that the talent's there. We do know this team can play, but it's just putting together a full game.
I get that we have the talent, but we can't keep saying we got the talent when the talent don't show up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It hurts to say, and I've been there. I've been a part of a team that went to Natty, and the next year we plummeted. So we had the same talent. We just, for whatever reason, just didn't show up. And, you know, I remember when old heads called me and was saying, yo, what's going on down there? This is not Texas. You know, and it took that type of phone call to bring the guys in the locker room and say, hey, I know we're struggling, but we got to pick each other up. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's the conversations that they need to have in the locker room. It's not necessarily for us to be down on each other, but man, we got to be accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are 6-1.
Yeah.
We are 6-1.
We just upset.
All right, we are 6-1, and this is the SEC. It's kind of like the Wild Wild West. Everybody's beating up everybody.
Yeah.
And I think we are most disappointed because of how we lost tonight.
Yeah,
right? It's more like how.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
I agree.
if you
That's
sit
fair.
back and say without the how, you say, hey, y'all gonna be, you know, after y'all play, Georgia's gonna beat y'all at home. Y'all be 6-1. And you'll say, okay, before the season.
I think
You would say,
everyone had
okay.
that predicted.
Yeah.
But the problem was we kept winning and everybody felt good and we looked
Yeah,
good.
and then Georgia lost.
Yeah, and so everybody
Listen,
changed their
but
expectations.
Expectations should change
That's
up
true.
or down based on what's put on the field.
That is true.
You
That is
know,
true.
I think the disappointing part is we know what we're capable of putting on the field, and we didn't put that on the field.
Yeah, at home.
Like, that's the
at home. We gotta go
the
at home.
disappointing
man.
part is that
Yeah.
like the last 2 big stages that we've been on was tonight. I mean, big stages was tonight, and then playoffs last year,
Yeah.
and it was the exact same story.
Yeah.
It was the exact same.
It
story.
felt very similar.
Disappeared ghost town offense in the first half, and then trying to
reel it back in.
trying to reel it back
It's
in
just
and
hard to
playing
do
it. But
that. It's
when
hard.
you're playing good teams,
Yeah.
it is almost impossible to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
We made way too many mistakes
Georgia
tonight.
felt this just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Down 28-0 against Bama, willed their way back and lost the game.
Lost again.
Yeah.
It is almost impossible when you are playing like
A
the
really good
high
team,
level
yeah.
of football.
Yeah.
And the truth is, like, I mean, I think this group comes back next week and they lock in, they get to it, and we handle our business. I think we're gonna have an amazing season.
Yeah.
And I honestly think we'll potentially get the opportunity to see Georgia again. We'll just never get this one back.
Yeah. I got you. I
You
got
know
you.
what
I
I'm
get
saying?
that. I got you.
We don't
I
get
got
this
you.
one back.
And I know it sounds like we're obviously disappointed, but like DJ said, we're 6-1.
Yeah.
And it's early. We still got a lot left in the season. And the main goal, it's not like how when we were playing where BCS standings
Oh, yeah.
really matter.
Yeah, it's different.
Now it's just let's get to the
Yeah,
playoffs.
get to playoffs.
And then we'll handle it from there. So 6-1, where we're at, it's not where we want to be,
Right.
but we're not dying. We're not.
No.
It's not over.
There's
It's not like a killer.
This was not a must.
Yeah,
win.
it wasn't a must.
And
It was
even
for
though we
Georgia.
won,
Yeah.
even though we won,
Everybody said that it meant more to
was for
Georgia,
Georgia.
and I agree with that. But I want to challenge y'all for a second, though. Like,
yeah,
it wasn't the game. It wasn't losing this game.
right.
But what we seen tonight
Yeah,
leads me to believe that we still have things that have not been fixed.
we got to
But
figure out.
but I want to put a bright side on that, and the best teacher is a loss.
That's fair.
It really is, and that hurts to say, but look, this could end up being a 17-game season, and the reality of, I mean, look at the NFL. Like nobody
17?
goes undefeated. Yeah, well,
Playoffs.
with playoffs and like
SEC
and
championship.
God.
playoffs, SEC
Playoffs.
championship, all these, like you potentially could play 16, 17 games.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like it's insane. So the odds of going undefeated. Look, there are no undefeated SEC teams now.
Right.
Like which I think a lot of people would have predicted at the start of the year.
Right.
And I think the SEC is going to get a lot more passes than any other conference.
Oh, no doubt.
Because
I
it is the
honestly
best
think
football.
the SEC will have 4, maybe 5 teams.
And they should.
Yeah. I mean, you look around, you look at the scope of this thing, you're saying that let's say Georgia, if this thing just plays out, let's say Georgia, let's say Texas, and then you look around and you're like, okay, Tennessee, Bama or LSU, or Bama and LSU, you just don't know the way that this season's going to play out. Like, the SEC's going to have 4, maybe 5 teams in that thing.
Yeah, and with all the games that we can possibly play, especially with the playoffs, I think we got to move our minds, and everybody's got to get in this mindset of this NFL mindset, right? In NFL, you don't go undefeated.
Right.
You don't.
Yeah,
That don't happen.
Yeah, really.
It does not happen because it's too long of a season, and even if you lost 2 games, there are a couple games where you're like, man, we didn't show up or whatnot. Hopefully, this is just that case, but we hate this because other teams is going, when they play against Texas, they got to put on the Georgia film. You got to put on that Georgia film, say, hey, guys, this is how you beat them. You go get you hit Quinn, you make him uncomfortable, make him go roll out this way, stop the run, and we got him.
Right.
Just like that.
Good luck, man.
Yeah.
Because not everybody got what Georgia got.
Yeah.
They don't. That's true.
good thing
But I'm saying that's that's motivation for them to,
Right.
think they have a chance.
Right.
Well, we're recapping Texas's 30-15 loss to Georgia. Before we flip, I want to flip over to the defensive side of the ball. Let's get to some positive talk. But before we do, we'll finish the offensive stats. Quinn was 25 of 43 for 211 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Trey Wisner was 15 carries for 52 yards, and Matthew Golden was 3 catches for 77 yards. And you're looking at the top performers. It was a rough day for the offense. So let's move on to the other side of the ball. I think we saw a lot of good things from this defense, and this defense is still solid, but they ran up against the most athletic, most talented team they've played all year, and we didn't come out firing, and our offense put them in some bad situations. I mean, this team is still super tough to score on. They are, and I'll give them credit because they got put in some bad situations and
they responded.
Yeah, they did.
To be quite just frank about it, this defense was on the field way too long.
Yep.
They were put in terrible situations for the second week in a row, and they responded for the second week in a row.
Yeah.
2 picks in the first quarter, 3 picks overall. I want to say Beck had less than 200 yards passing, no touchdowns, and 3 picks.
Yeah, he had 23 of 41, 175 yards,
You
and
take-
3 picks.
you-
You told us that before the game. We're like, Texas won by 15.
I'm telling you. And their leading rusher was ETN. He did his thing.
He did good. He did good.
19 carries.
37.
Yeah.
I think that would be the
87
only
yards,
thing
3 touchdowns.
that we can say that was the kind of a downfall for our defense was the run game. Georgia just had a rhythm with their run game, and plus with the missed tackles that we had today, which really did cost us. It converted a few third downs that if we make that tackle, we don't have that discussion. But other than that, the defense did a very solid job today. DBs did a great job. D-line went after them. It's just, they have incredible athletes, great talent. And like you said, when offense just, puts you in bad positions, being on our, 15, 20, twice,
Yeah.
3 times, it's kind of hard to stop that. So
Georgia gained 283 yards today to Texas 259. It's not like anybody was
That
blowing the
was
doors
my
off.
whole
on that.
point that everybody I was talking to, even on the way here, was like, listen, we seen 2 equally bad offensive performances.
Tonight. Yeah.
It's just one outshine the other simply because of just the timing and the taking advantage of the opposite bad performance.
I can see that.
2 picks in the first quarter, 0 points resulted of it for us, right?
Yeah.
As to with them, we get the strip sack fumble
Yep.
on Quinn turns into what? 7.
7.
Strip sack fumble on Arch turns into 3. That's 10 points. 2 turnovers, no points. 2 turnovers, 10 points.
Yeah.
I'm
You behind the chains
2
now.
equally bad offensive performances today. It was just one defense just took advantage of it.
And I do think something that needs to be highlighted, and it's not the most exciting thing, but the special teams battle was won by Georgia today. Their punter completely out punted our
Man.
punter. We got put in some rough situations. And
I usually don't look at punters. I'm like, why is this? This guy is dropping them. I'm like,
They are started on the 50 every time.
time,
Oh, man.
every
This
time.
is tough.
It was tough, and obviously having our top punter down that definitely affected us as well. And I think you look at Peyton Woodring, their kicker, had a great game.
Yeah.
And he made the kicks he needed to make, and it created that separation the entire game.
It's
And
very few games you hear that.
Yeah.
Like the battle of the kickers, like
Yeah.
the battle of
Yeah.
punters.
But I
you know
mean
what I'm
that lets you know how tight of there's the talent in this game was
Yeah.
borderline same.
Well, the defenses were dogfighting, the offenses were doing
Shmucking it
whatever.
up. They were schmucking it up. Defenses were dogfighting, and special teams was just chipping away the whole time.
Yeah.
This league think about it. This league just slowly got bigger until you look up and you're down 23 going into the half. And you still, I don't know about y'all, we're down 23 going into the half, and I'm just sitting there with a migraine like, the crazy part is if we can just get
I know.
Get going.
Get
Get the ball
something.
rolling.
get a drive.
Get something.
Can we
going.
talk about, in my life of watching football, never have I seen what happened on that field when Jade got that pick.
Oh.
And they called it pass interference.
Yeah.
The students go crazy, throw the trash, and the refs are like, hey, let's reward this trash thrown on the field.
So all right, so where I'm in the stadium, I couldn't hear or see, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't see, I couldn't hear the ref change the call. What did they say happened?
Basically, the first call was pass interference. They called pass interference on Jade, and so that was done. All the fans start throwing the stuff.
Seen that.
The refs start talking, and I thought they were talking about giving us a delay of game,
Right?
Or throwing a flag on the students
Right.
for throwing everything on the field. Instead, they were talking about that call. So in a way, we kind of got rewarded for our
We
behavior.
started a riot, huh?
Yeah, and I have never seen refs come back out.
I've never
and just
seen
be
it
like,
too.
hey. By the way, you guys can have that pick, and it's your ball first, and inside
In
the red zone.
Yeah.
I was told, because I couldn't hear the ref. It was so
We
loud.
need it.
It was
I
insane.
just could not hear the ref. But I was told that the ref came back and corrected themselves and said it was pass interference on the offense.
Really?
I'm asking.
Oh, I
Is that-
didn't hear that. I don't know if it got flagged. I'm sure the audience can tell us, but I mean, but the whole thing was insane.
that was
I've
nuts.
never seen them flip a call like that,
was nuts.
and they got the call right eventually because that was not
No, it's
pass
it was
interference.
just a great play.
Jade was going
Right.
for the ball more, so they got it right. But if I was Kirby Smart, I'd have been giving birth on the sidelines, man, and he was because
Yeah.
how do you flip that?
Yeah.
It's insane. But I'm glad they did get it right. It obviously benefited us.
us.
But I've never seen that in all my years of watching football.
And that you just said something that I don't think we've touched on yet, which is Kirby Smart. Listen, salute to the man.
Yep.
Yeah.
That he is a defensive mind, and we said we talked about this earlier, Shuley. I'm ready to see Sark's offensive genius versus
Against
Kirby's
Kirby's,
defensive
yeah.
genius,
Yeah.
and to see like just what
Yeah.
what happens when
Two
these
great
two
like-minded-
clash.
Yeah.
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 And I have to tip my hat off to Kirby in at least in that first half for sure.
Yeah.
Because first of all, if it wasn't a talent thing, if it wasn't just their guy beating our guy to the spot as far as their defensive line goes, even when Quinn had time to throw,
Didn't have nowhere to.
he was just going
hard.
check down.
Yeah.
Check down.
Yeah.
Because it's like, man, I don't know where to go with this ball.
Blue
they
Blue
were-
had the most receptions on the team.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
so I got to give Kirby his card on that one. He had his boys ready to go.
Yeah.
There were multiple times where they did defensive line shifts, or you saw just the schemes he was doing where they'd shift somebody and the blitz would pop in behind the shift. And like the things they were doing the offensive line was doing their best to communicate, but it was a masterclass.
Yeah, when you look in the replay, you can see like the disguise. It would start off with three front.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
a
next thing you know, when
three
that ball snapped,
They
it was
open.
full five.
Yeah.
And they were timing it perfect. Like
Yeah,
they're starting
yeah.
in that 34 front, and they're shifting, and they're down there 40, but they're dropping a backer directly in one of the A gaps, and then dropping an in, and I'm like,
The coach
And they're humming too. They're not like
hey
this is-
man, like all you can do is just wash it all down.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do as an offensive line? You got to wash it down. And the one time that they did wash it down, we don't see the nickel coming off the edge.
and then just absolutely
I mean,
destroyed Quinn on that play.
destroyed.
I mean, that was a great disguise, man.
I'm looking at it, and like as somebody that like truly loves the game of football, I'm like, there's a piece of me that's like, damn, that was good.
Props.
Nothing
Yeah.
you can do about
Really, that was
Yeah.
really good. But
Yeah.
I just hate that it's happening to us.
right.
Yeah, man. It's tough to the way we reacted to that, and I just think that our game plan, if you watched, Georgia did such a good job of. Sark's offense revolves around a lot of eye candy, a lot of motion, a lot of things like that, and Georgia just teed off.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
we're doing these. I mean, we've got these great intricate plays, but they're like, cool, we're gonna knock all your guys over.
That's what
not give
I
you time.
and the worst part is where it's like it's such a double-edged sword, because usually you see a team that's so aggressive to where these throwback screens and
Yeah.
all of this stuff, it causes for these massive plays, these
Yeah.
chunk plays. or you get what we got tonight, which is one team just punching one team in the mouth.
Yeah.
And the other team having to like figure out what to do next. Because they are just
hard.
getting like Georgia was not making no never mind about it. They were like, "No, we're going that way."
And I think they kind of messed up Sark's game plan or the offense's game plan. When you get up on a team, you can't just you can't just keep running the ball. Even though we got some eye candy and jet motion here and there, we just do inside zone or stretch or whatnot. We couldn't really major in that because you're up. We're down.
What I wanted to see is what obviously Sark is. Salute to him, and he does an amazing job of adjustments at halftime. And I wanted to see what we saw in the third quarter, which was, look,
We marched right down the field.
Yeah.
Let's start running
go back to the
power.
basics.
Let's just start running. We are running that way now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, all of this is not.
Nah, they got too much speed.
When we started going, like when we started attacking and going forward with everything we were doing, all of a sudden the rush started to slow down a little bit.
Try not to be
We started going down
fancy.
the field.
Let's just see mano y mano at that point.
But I'm not mad though, because sometimes you see Sark call something and you're like, how in the world is this guy wide open?
Dude, I will talk about it. Like one of the things we're forgetting is on that. I think it was the first series where we did it was the first or second where we did the flea flicker. I think it was the second. And they took away the deep ball, but Trey was wide open. And if you looked at it, like he had a clear path to the end zone, and he dropped it.
The one where he dropped it.
And that's a game-changing play because we come out, get 7, get 3 on that drive. It's a very different first half than 23-0.
Now check this out. What drive was that, right?
I think it was the second,
It's the second drive of the game.
Early.
Come back into the third quarter. We run a similar concept, not a flea flicker though. You get Jordan Blue. He comes in, you hit him in the
Yep, one-on-one, boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
Yep.
So he fouled that away.
Yep.
He knew he could come back again and hit something similar with this look. I'm not mad at the overall game plan. I guess I would have just loved to see us adjust a little bit faster. Like, hey, the eye candy ain't here right now.
Yeah.
I think we got to get aggressive back.
Yeah.
Because these guys they're teeing off, bro. They're going
They are
forward.
going full force.
They are going forward. So,
Yeah.
and we did that on defense. Well, if I'm walking away from this game happy about anything, I genuinely believe front to back we can line it down with anybody on
For sure.
On defense. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's nobody.
DBs,
Yeah,
linebackers,
yeah,
to D-line.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm
That's a
feeling
true statement.
really good knowing that defense can win you a championship.
Yeah.
Like, we can line it down with anybody.
There's nobody in college football that we can't beat.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I really believe that, and there is a lot more parity this year, but I truly believe that. I will say the one thing that I was a little bit disappointed about, and I know he's had his fumbles, but and I saw somebody posted on here that Jaden didn't get any carries, and I still think he has that X factor, right? Like Trey's a beast, and Trey can be that kind of workhorse running back. But Blue, you see it, like he's the playmaker, and he did it catching the ball today. But I still want to see him running the ball we didn't even see Jarek today. Jarek Gibson didn't even play.
I mean, you can't really get deep into your running back room because we're down. You're running a couple plays, but then we got to get down. We got to take more. More shots. And I'll say that, but they do take shots, right? Not tonight.
The one shot that we just took that I really loved, but that's
tonight.
how Matthew Golden ended up getting his yards, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was shot play. But outside of that, we took one deep. I forget who it was that was running it. But I forgot who was running it.
Was it Wingo and the pass interference? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
And I know that Georgia is a handsy secondary that will do that. I just wish we would have just took a few more of those. Georgia's proven that at that third level, those DBs will grab you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They will grab you, take the 15-yard penalty, and line it down.
And I don't think they left their DBs naked a lot. I think they had 2 safeties a lot. Yeah. They protected them.
Sure. They tried to
but
they were pretty deep today as far as the coverage wise. They really trusted their D line to really get after Quinn.
And they did.
And it happened. And when you have that effect, you really don't need really much of press coverage
Absolutely
to
not.
happen.
If I can run 2 safeties high and even like limit the run game, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Because prove to me that you can go 80.
And I don't think we took advantage of the way their defensive backs played like we should have. And it was because of the pressure, right? Like this defensive backfield was leaky. And props to them. I talked a lot of mess before the game, but props to them. They did what they needed to do, and they held us 259 yards passing.
I said Georgia did what a team is supposed to do when Texas comes out sleepwalking.
Yeah,
like Georgia did what they were
out.
supposed to do. Yeah. They were supposed to go up and make it a difficult climb back. You know what I mean? Like you would almost needed Texas to play perfect in the second half and get some luck on their side to like overcome that 23-point deficit. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's just what you need.
And, like, and the penalties too, man. It's just it's when you play really good teams, the mistakes it got to be lower. It's just
not only that
we wasn't conscious of that. It still was. The penalties is the self-inflicting wounds.
Penalties and
when you're down, you can't do it.
2 for 15 on third down is not going to help you at all either.
That's not going to cut it, especially with how good we've been on third down. We've been I think we were 49% on third down, and that's definitely going to drop that down.
You gotta stay
you gotta stay on the field.
People don't understand how adjustments work.
Yeah.
They first of all, salute to this defense because they played right. But if you are 2 for 15 on third down, my defensive coordinator doesn't even have enough time to go through to see what they are doing so that I can make the adjustment, relay that information to my position coaches. Position coaches get the players to their side, give them the check and the call, and then they run through it to make sure they know what they already calling the punt.
And half the punt team is on defense.
Half the punt team is on defense. You already back on the field before you can even get the adjustment. That's why complementary football is what wins games. You have to offense staying on the field just allows the defense to be better.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so impressed with this defense because we just did not help them for majority of this game. And at one point you're sitting there and it's a 1-score game.
Yeah.
You're like, how?
And look at the third downs. Georgia's third down wasn't that good either.
Yeah, 6 to 17.
Yeah, what is that, 35%? I mean, it's under 40. I mean, but again, we made more mistakes than them. We did worse.
And they capitalized on our mistakes.
Yeah. Right.
That's the big key. With it as well.
Yeah, I mean, across the board, look at it, right? We were worse on third down. We had one more penalty than they had. We had one more turnover than they had. Both of these offenses played pretty bad. We just managed to play worse.
Yeah. We only scored in one quarter tonight.
Oh, come on, Sean.
That's one offense too.
Stop telling me stuff like that, man. That
One
makes me
quarter.
want to
That'll
go
do it. That'll make you lose. Well, we're recapping Texas's 30-15 loss to Georgia begrudgingly, and we're gonna get into some of y'all's comments and questions, etc. So if you have more, please keep them coming in. So let's see. The first one's from Kyle W. He said Georgia also looked like the fastest team we faced this season. I think that's easily.
We knew that was going to happen.
We knew there was going to be 5-star athletes.
But that's a very good. Yeah, Georgia definitely looked like the fastest team that we faced. Yeah. I didn't feel that we were slow.
No, we weren't slow.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I didn't look at it and feel like we were outmatched talent-wise. That didn't feel that way. It didn't feel that way. It felt like both defenses were dominated. Yeah. But it didn't feel like, man,
they just executed
these
better
boys
than we did.
There you go. Execution.
Yeah. Execution was there, and ours wasn't.
Yeah, I'd love to get another shot at them. But we'll see.
We do it the right way. We'll see.
We'll see. All right, from El Conquistador, it always comes down to the trenches, and we lost big time on the offensive end. Yeah. That's fair. They controlled the line of scrimmage. They moved the line.
Line had a long day today. I'm not going to lie about that. They came with it.
Humble pie.
Yeah.
Humble pie.
Yeah, seven sacks, I believe. Yeah. I don't think have they allowed 7 sacks all season?
No.
I don't believe so. No. Yeah, so that definitely shifted the game. Yeah. From Quentin, the defense played well enough to win. That's fair. Well, that's exactly what we've been saying. From Dadgum Batman, I thought our O-line was invincible. I was wrong. Yeah, we don't have to pour it too hard on the offensive line. We got that. Got it. Georgia's still Georgia, 5-star U. Yeah, I mean they had athletes, but we're that too now, and so we don't have that excuse of like, they have more talent than us. They definitely don't.
What I give Georgia their props on, and I don't think we mentioned it, is that they have a championship pedigree. And they show up when the lights are on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And we're trying to learn.
We're still trying to learn how to be that.
Looks like. Yeah. Like we play well in spurts, and you see our talent on display. But a championship pedigree is just I play my best when it's required. Like on this stage.
And you find a way.
You're going to find a way, and I'm going to play my brand of football on this stage.
And you know what? Maybe we failed at that tonight. I think we have a couple. We will have a few more shots at that.
Oh, man,
to redeem that. Saying, "Hey guys,
I'm telling you, we got to go to Arkansas.
Yeah,
we got to go.
We got
to go to Vanderbilt
We
next
got to
week.
go to Vandy.
Yep.
We got to go to A&M.
SEC championship."
See, like I said, I was worried we'd be looking ahead to Vandy, and it appears we were. So that's what happened.
That's the one we going with.
guess so.
Yeah, man, we were looking
I
ahead
guess
to
so.
Vandy. At one point, Vandy was tied 14-14 with Ball State. Yeah. I was sitting there talking to Casey Hayward. He went to Vandy, and he didn't want to show me the score. He had it on his phone. And I was like, who y'all playing, Incarnate Word? I thought they were playing Incarnate Word, man. I was like, I don't know what the mascot was, but no, we got to go to Vandy. We got to put them away.
I know it's gonna be a good game. We'll get into that on when we put out our preview episode. But here we go from a Dog fan, Stacy Spear. A great team. I'm a Dog fan. I was interested to see what these guys said after everything they said on that last show. Hey, props to y'all, man.
Props, brother.
Like
Props.
we give it up.
I'm gonna call a spade, man. Y'all are still
did well.
Georgia. Y'all are
Did
still
well,
Georgia.
bro.
Hey, listen. For the time being, we will
Enjoy your moment.
Enjoy your
Very
moment.
cocky right
We
now.
will see you again.
Yeah, another one from Stacey. I look forward to seeing Texas again, and I like Sark from his days with Atlanta. He's a great coach.
Yeah.
Agreed. Like nothing's broken too badly here. Like
No.
we're gonna be
Sark,
here.
well, you'll see a different team next week.
Oh yeah,
You will.
They're gonna-
Y'all know how it is when
Oh,
you
yeah.
lose,
Especially in a game like this.
you lose like this. Everybody
That
is
film,
like,
that film study tomorrow. Is not,
Yeah.
You mean,
Not
you mean
even
practice
close.
isn't gonna be fun this week?
Not even close.
Yeah, y'all talk about that. What did it look like after a game like this?
I mean, I think
it's like hell week.
it is hell week.
It's hell week.
'Cause
No, it's good though. You
personally,
man, it's
you know it hurts.
So football is
But-
football is a tough man sport, man. You gotta prove it every freaking minute, every freaking play. You got to. I don't care if you're number one or not. You gotta prove it. And this week, it's a great example of, hey, we didn't show up this week like we wanted to. We go back to the basics, and it's
How do we
it's-
respond is what
Yeah.
what the question is now. And it's let's not what's done is done. Let's not sit and ponder and sulk on this. We know how we're feeling. I mean, we're not even playing, and we feel like crap.
Yeah.
Imagine how those guys are
True.
feeling.
That is
And I
true.
know they're ready to prove themselves. I don't think they're really worried about the outside noise. It's just they know themselves that they are better than what they showed today.
Yeah.
So that makes that fire come in even more for them to come out next week and just put on even more of a performance.
And Mac used to say something. Mac Brown used to always say, "Don't let them beat you twice."
Oh, yeah. It's a great quote.
And it's real simple, right? Like learn from this tape.
Yep.
Obviously on those MAs on tomorrow, they're gonna go through every single assignment that was missed, and they're gonna run it again. and then practice is gonna be what practice is gonna be. It's not gonna feel great.
Yep.
But use this, lock in, make the adjustments,
Yep.
and then go up there to Vandy and do what you got to do. Like don't allow this to beat you
Yeah.
again.
After tonight, this next morning, it's over with,
over.
gone. We don't need to talk
It's
about
over.
it no more. We need to move on forward to get ready for Vandy.
So
Yeah. No, and this is from Higgs typing it in here. Oh, props, by the way, props to Derrick Joe and Mark Higgins for always holding it down back there, making this
Yeah,
whole
D. Joe,
performance
Higgs.
or show or whatever it is happen. He said, listen to this comment from Kirby Smart on the field after the game with ABC. Nobody gave us a chance. Your whole network doubted us. Nobody believed us, and they tried to rob us with calls in this place. Okay. That last part, settle down, brother. We had 8 penalties for 40 yards. Like
Listen.
there were that kickoff holding. Come on, man. Like,
Kirby is a smart man. He knows what he's doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kirby
He's lobbying.
He is
Very much love.
He's talking to his team.
Yeah.
Nobody believes in us.
Yep.
Nobody gave us a chance. The whole network is against us.
Yeah.
This place is cheating with their Kirby's talking to his team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not talking to none of us.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
Kirby's talking to
That's
his
for
team.
his dogs.
Yeah, that's for the dogs.
From Victor Santiago, on the bright side, our defense only gave up 7 points in the second half. Yeah, we outscored them 15-7 in the second half, but that 23-0 in the first half.
Yeah,
is
you,
what-
you spot Georgia 23.
Yeah, they got it.
Probably, you're
anyone,
probably not
it's
winning.
hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
seriously,
probably
it's
not
hard.
winning that one.
This is from Higgs too. Sark's post-game comments. At the end of the day, Quinn's our starter, but I think we got to do a better job around him. I think he would tell you he could play better, but we've got to coach better. So
Yeah. Put the onus on everybody.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then another one from everybody's got to be better for our offensive football team to perform better.
That's true.
And
We've
then-
been saying that week in, week out, though.
From Anthony Hill, we took the loss. We're gonna watch the film and we're gonna get better. Yeah, I have no doubt in this team. This team works. This team's willing to put in the work.
Yeah.
And I think, like I said, sometimes a loss can be the best thing. And the odds of us, we talked about this at the start of the year. This is an NFL schedule we're playing this year,
Yeah.
and anybody in the SEC is playing basically an NFL schedule. You're not going to go undefeated.
Yeah.
And I think we started to kid ourselves that we were invincible, et cetera. But you got to do it every single week, and we've been taking quarters off and halves off, and you do it against the wrong team, and you slip up, and that's what happened.
The
And
disappointing
as
part.
Another thing before you say that, another thing I'm thinking about what Mac Brown used to say when you talk about parity. He used to say that all the time in the Big 12. It's a lot of parity, right? He would overuse that word. Well, okay, maybe, and but now
It's there.
Now
it's a lot of
There's no
that's
easy
a
games
real
left on our
thing.
schedule.
The thing is this, though. Like, to be honest, there's no easy game left on the schedule, no. But, like one of those comments there, 5-star U, we won't see that again until we see Georgia again. Until we see a Tennessee, until we see a LSU or an Alabama.
Yeah.
Until we get to the point. And so the question mark that was on Texas at the beginning of the season, that was on Texas coming into this game, is still there. Can they beat the teams? Like there's this A list of teams that you don't win a championship without beating one of these.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
Can
that's
we
yeah.
beat those teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. I still don't know.
You know
I- and real quick, even though we're disappointed, we're not doubting, right?
No.
It's the two different things. Doubt is a little bit like,
Yeah.
man,
We're
I
not
don't
sure
know.
what the team
Yeah,
got. It's
I
not
don't.
that.
Yeah, it's not that. We're disappointed, but
Very
we're not.
much.
Yeah,
We know this. First of all, the standard, and we just know our guys.
Yeah.
We know when they play a complete game, what they bring and what the stats show.
I can't wait till next week. Now,
Yeah.
now I know. I like
Definitely,
they.
you know?
It's like, hey, here, let's
Let's
go,
get
bro.
this going.
The tough part though is that like you gotta chop down this schedule,
yeah.
and at some point,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
handle our business, right? We don't have a choice. Can't look ahead, but at some point, we have to get to one of these games again to answer this question
Yeah.
that has still not been answered.
Yeah, I
Well,
got
and you want to know the most painful part is we're gonna have to be watching teams like Penn State go above
my
us,
God.
Miami go above us. That's what's gonna happen.
Listen,
So,
Miami, I don't know. They've been. I don't know who.
what would Kirby say about the refs for them?
I'm looking at Miami and I'm just like, listen. I don't know what deal was made here, but
The ACC's like, we're getting somebody through.
Miami's been begging to lose. You
Yeah,
know,
I know.
like so. But no, salute to those guys, man. They keep finding a way to pull it out. They keep finding a way
Yeah.
to pull it out.
Yeah.
But we'll see if that continues to happen. They got to run into Clemson eventually.
No, I agree. Well, and one more comment before we get out of here. John 86 Wayne, and we all knew nobody was going to go undefeated this year in the SEC. I think that's true. Somebody was saying that there are a couple undefeated teams in the SEC. They're undefeated in the SEC. There are no undefeated teams
Right,
in
right.
the
It's
SEC
different.
They're
overall.
undefeated in SEC play.
Yeah, correct.
We
Yep.
got it. Thanks for the technicality.
Yeah. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate y'all recapping Texas's 15-30 loss to Georgia. It stinks every time I say that. Hopefully that's the last time I have to say that. But appreciate everybody tuning in. For all you that ordered shirts, we got word that those will ship out this early this week. So we apologize for the delay. But you guys ordered so dang many of them that they had to go order more stock to print them on. That's why we're
That's
so
great
far
news.
behind.
Good
Yeah,
problem to
so-
have.
Unfortunately,
Y'all
couldn't
are
do it,
dope.
but
yeah.
Y'all are dope.
but thank you guys.
No, we appreciate y'all, and we will see y'all this week for the Vanderbilt preview. Hook 'em.
Okay.